What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. Today's post is titled Everything and Nothing. And as it's a dialogue between Matias and his higher self, I'd be referring to Matias as me and to his higher self as I am. Me. If the concept of meaning and nonsense leaves me with something, it is that everything is based on the concept of nothing. It seems that the void is the reoccurring answer to all things. When we begin the spiritual path, we never really pretend that at the end of the path we find such a stark truth. Sometimes we ascribe that nonsense to agnostics, atheists, nihilists. My grandfather was a nihilist, an incessant seeker for knowledge, but whose vision of life was simply a pointless moment of organic development that would soon end, and then eternal emptiness, darkness, nothingness itself, and worms they would eat. When I heard this, there was something deep in me that told me that this was impossible. Also, I could see my guides, beings from other dimensions, that gave meaning to after death. I could remember my past lives, have visions of the future. All this made me see that I was not only in the immensity, that in reality it is a complete whole of millions of things. Life could not end in a total nonsense, in nothing herself. Nothing is worth it then. And throughout my life, discovering more and more meaning, finding greater answers and visions, suddenly I came to the last and most determining of my memories, the void. I remembered my grandfather's words. I remembered his way of seeing the world from nonsense. I could understand that he from science and reading, and I from spirituality and memory, had reached the same conclusion. However, there was a difference. All this made me see that I was not only in the immensity, that in reality it is a complete whole. I was missing from the equation. Me, exactly. My grandfather's vision was personalistic, based on ego, on separation, as if each individual fell into emptiness, into nonsense, as if the void were something separate from me, where our existence culminated and there was nothing else to do, as we were relegated to this emptiness. But it's not like that then. You realized what it meant. Me. The void was not something or a place where my existence ended. It was the void. I am the void. That changes everything. Knowing that emptiness is not something that surrounds me, but something that makes me be. That allows me to exist. Why then would the void, the nothing, allow the all? I am. The word todo comes from the Indo-European tuta, which refers to a group of people, a tribe. In English, all also comes from the Indo-European hel, meaning complete, or the common everything, arising from the terms each, all, and thing. And the word nothing arises incredibly from the Latin word born, something that is born, the natality. Me. So, the origin of the word that we consider empty and without anything actually speaks of the birth of all things. I am. That's right. The nothing is the birth of the all. Parts, tribes, assemblages, groups, objects, and individuals are accounted for by the whole, ordered as sons and daughters of different ages, all born from the same womb, from the same origin, from the womb of the divine matrix. The empty comes from the verb vaker, giving rise to the word vacant. That is, a free, unoccupied place that has to be completed. All the concepts related to the void do not speak of the force opposite to the all, but of the force that allows the all to exist. Me. That is why, when on the path of spirituality, we meet the whole, the path of consciousness, of being, takes us to the origin, where we meet the nothing, the void, the mother. That is to say, throughout our search, we see the parts, we see the whole, in the image of the Heavenly Father, the Creator, the one who disseminates, the one who labels, orders, levels, guides, the one who groups, unites, gathers, that reminds us that we are part of a whole in unity, and we go through the wonders of its creation, in the different worlds of this dimension, and then in the wonders of multidimensionality, we discover that the whole is visible and invisible, that it is eternal and ethereal. We recognize the connection between all the parts as a gigantic puzzle, like the truth that we have so long sought. And we look at the whole picture. We realize that in reality, all of this did not arise that way because yes, everything must have an origin, a common point. Each part and the network itself must arise from the same place. The spiritual path deepens to such a point that the images of the great puzzle cease to make sense. And the idea of humans as a simple cluster of atoms and vibrations disappears. The teachers, the guides, the angels disappear. The idea of duality disappears. Everything collapses on itself, realizing that nothing of or that previously made sense does not really have it now. And there you discover that all the parts of the puzzle were simple projections of an idea, and that idea led to the I am. And when you connect to the I am, you discover the origin of everything, in the void, in the nothing. I am. And that's when you realize that the Creator, had always been the same being. You, me, us, you, them, him, her, nothingness. The natality of all things. Nothing and everything. Nothing and everything, then, are not opposites. They are mother and children. The all are the heavens, and thousands of children born from nothing. It is the I am expressed in millions of eyes, and all those eyes seek a way to express themselves, to build themselves, generating more separation, more things, more wonders, generating every tiny part that makes up the whole. What amazes us, what all our senses can perceive in all dimensions, on their paths, the I, the ego, will discover their potential until they find the most beautiful truth of all, that they were not alone on the path, that everything is connected, that everything is one. Everything is a network, millions of parts in unity, constituting the mind of the whole, the Creator Himself. They discover that there is no God above or below, because they are all a cell of God. They are all God, and their actions, emotions, and thoughts mold God in the same way that our cells mold our being. Thus, the weight is drawn of creation, giving meaning to everything that did not have it before, to the logic between the parts, and that truth is eclipsed in an instant by absolute truth. Meaning was created by the mind of the Great Being, and therefore manifestation, experimentation, did not have any meaning until integration gave it one. He discovers then that nothing ever made sense, that the mind was the only one capable of giving him one, and so he sets out to understand nonsense, and discovers that all things arose, were born from the same origin, of a space that needed to be filled with experiences of a meaningless emptiness, and it will not be until the moment when he recognizes himself as that void, as that mother giving light, that he becomes aware that the whole was created by himself, that the meaning was proposed by himself. The discovery that the origin and meaning of things, of the whole, is the deepest nothing from nonsense, is not the key to falling into the depression of the death of being, of what for, eternal and self-compassionate, but, on the contrary, it is the key that reminds you that all this has been possible because you have allowed yourself to be born from nothing, that you have given it meaning. Why do you expect the meaning and the existing unity of everything to be determined by someone outside, a God you cannot understand, when you have in your hands the ability to say, me, we go back to the same thing, irresponsibility. It's easier to say that someone else did it, so it's the other's fault. The universe is like you, and each being that composes it, each star, planet, species, individual, is like a different type of cells that compose you. The paradox lies in the following. Who's to blame for the conflicts and the meaning of your life? You, who with your decisions determine the fate of yourselves, or yourselves that in DNA have determined your existence? Me, sure. It's a huge paradox. Well, it means that what I do to my body affects each cell, but in turn, it is the cells that built me as I am. That is, it's reciprocal. It is the individuals, those that generate the whole, are the parts that give meaning to the universe. I am. Voila. Each individual, in their replication of their DNA, of their experience and perception of life, multiplies the whole, magnifies it, gives it meaning, purpose, not the other way around. It is not God who gives meaning to the whole. It is the whole who gives meaning to God. And the only way to make sense of it is by eliminating the preconceptions, being born again, to be born from nothing. Me, that is why you take me there again and again, to the void, to be able to resurface, to be able to be the creator of my own universe. I am. And that's how you finally understand what you know. Me. I am the nothing that generates the all. I am the all, giving meaning to the nothing. I am. Welcome to the true meaning of creation.